welcome to another episode of Talking Toku, Boston and Bellingham's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all their kaiju friends. I am your host, David Scrivani.
Hey guys, my name's Brian.
That was a good introduction. I liked that, Brian. Very nice. Hello. Brian informed me before we started recording that we don't really do introductions very well, so like that kind of threw me for a loop, and now I don't know what to say.
Listen, every podcast I've ever listened to, they don't do introductions correctly.
That's fair. I mean, I only listened to like one other podcast.
It's because introductions are fucking hard. Like, what are you supposed to say? Hi, welcome to my podcast where I talk at you and you listen.
I'm gonna use that for the next episode, I think, whatever it may be.
You better listen, bitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say, word for word. You know what? Not even word for word. I'm gonna cut out this little piece of audio that you just said and paste it in right there. That's what I'm gonna do.
Please do. I would like it to show up in a soundboard somewhere.
Okay, we can have a Talking Toku soundboard, Brian.
Oh, we sure can.
That can be one of our Patreon rewards, our $50 Patreon.
The only one after the $50 one that has no reward.
Well, the reward was the early sketch version of the logo, but now the logo is complete and it has been for a while, so there's no point in having the sketch version.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. God damn. Well, we had to replace it with something.
Yeah. So now it's
this. Yeah. Okay.
Whatever it was. Anyways, Brian, what are we covering on this show today?
Today we're covering the hit movie, the Sea Beast, the movie on Netflix that we mentioned a while back. I think
we did mention.
But we're going to get to that after the singular piece of news that does not have to do with this podcast.
Yeah, we have not a lot of news this week. I'm kind of surprised.
But the news we do have, it's definitely news.
It's news, all right, and I can't even begin to explain.
I think it's probably the most exciting thing.
It absolutely is.
That comes from the MonsterVerse.
Yeah,
and,
so
if you listen to this, you've already heard it. But I'm gonna let Dave talk about it
because
he's
pumped.
been chomping at the bit to open his mouth about this.
I really am. So we have a little more. So as you guys probably remember, on the last episode we had some casting news for the still untitled Apple TV Plus MonsterVerse series, and now this week we have a little bit more. We've had a little bit of rumors of this in the past, but Legendary has now confirmed that Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell will be joining the series in as yet undisclosed roles. So the way I see this show could be the worst possible thing the MonsterVerse has produced. Worse than Godzilla King of the Monsters. Worse than Godzilla vs. Kong. And you know what? It'd still be okay because we still got Kurt motherfucking Russell in Godzilla media. And that is all I have ever wanted in my life.
Aren't you glad that you were alive for this part of history, Dave?
Right? Very, very much so.
Does it outweigh everything else? Absolutely.
I mean, define everything else.
Every other piece of news that's ever come out in the last 25 years.
Like in terms of like kaiju stuff or just in general news?
In general.
Every piece of news.
Being alive in this part of history, is it worth it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's the existentialism corner for you today.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. I'm excited. I think it would be really funny if it turns out that they're showing up for like facial capture for the monster.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. I mean, when I talked to my co-host of DCM Howard about this, all he said was he better be playing Godzuki.
I mean, it would be really funny.
Yeah, and I said no. Have Kurt play Godzilla and Wyatt play Godzuki. It's perfect because in the 1978 Hanna-Barbera canon, Godzuki is Godzilla's nephew, not his son, but his nephew.
So, okay, all right.
So you know what? There we go. That's it. It works, kind of. Not really.
That's
but
the
you know
new
what I mean.
headcanon, and if it's anything other than that, I'm going to be disappointed, and I will harass people on the internet.
I agree.
That is a joke for any of you who cannot spot a joke.
Yeah.
Because I need to remind people.
But yeah, as for other news, San Diego Comic-Con was this weekend, and there was fucking nothing revealed for Godzilla.
Oof.
It was there was a bunch of like new figures and stuff revealed, but that was literally it, and it was really disappointing.
There was about a bajillion things that I didn't care about that got announced.
Yeah. Cough,
Which
cough,
is
Marvel Studios.
which is how Comic-Con usually goes.
Yeah,
because
literally.
I've completely checked out of Marvel and whatever they're doing nowadays.
Yeah,
so.
pretty much. But that's not all. I know it said we only have a couple, like 2 things of news, technically 1.
Cool.
But
as I said, we had one piece of news outside of news about this podcast, and the other piece of news is that Dave literally kid street and made them work for us for free. And
okay.
We now have a social media.
Slow your roll here, Brian. You're. All right. Well, as Brian so eloquently put it, Talking Toku now has a social media manager.
And this is your cue.
That's your
Please
cue.
Unmute
that's
yourself.
your cue.
I got the cue.
There you go. There's your cue. Why don't you introduce yourself, my friend?
Hi, everyone. I'm Robert. I'm the new Talking Toku social media manager. And I was not kidnapped. I approached David and said, hey, great podcast. One thing, social media, it stinks. I know how to help you.
So you kidnapped Dave.
Pretty much.
I kidnapped Dave, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds funny the way he says it, but that's essentially exactly what happened. So Robert is actually a coworker of mine at the Legoland Discovery Center in Boston. And, you know, being an impressionable youth, I told him about my podcast, assuming he would not listen to it. But turns out he did, actually. Not a whole episode, but he listened to a little bit of it. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is pretty good. And then, like, literally, out of the blue, no prior build-up whatsoever. He's just like, hey, can I be your social media manager for the podcast?
Oh, my God.
And I was like, I guess so. And I had this, Robert, you can confirm this. We had this whole back and forth as to whether or not I couldn't tell if you were serious or not.
Oh, no, I was 100% dead serious.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Who would have thought that a complete stranger would have cared more about our brand than we do?
Than the actual hosts of the podcast.
God to him. All right.
Robert in the past has only seen a small handful of kaiju related things, but I have given him a rather extensive list of things to go through. But you've already,
is it extensive?
It's extensive, all right. There's some stuff
It's
on
like
there
a 40 movie list.
Plus TV shows. Don't forget that.
Yes.
But you have
is it? Oh, is it on there?
It's on the Discord.
You didn't put Ultra Q on there, which means that
sorry.
he won't be able to see the absolute horror.
Hey, listen,
Baron Spider.
He can still go out of his way to explore other avenues, you know.
All right, Robert, I need you to I don't listen to our Ultra Q episode. I know how much you adore this podcast, but don't listen to it because I want you to go watch Ultra Q, and I want you to watch the Baron Spider episode and tell us what you think, because I was haunted by it.
Great, more homework. Got it.
There you go. You're welcome.
So Robert, you did do some homework the other day. You watched the original 1954 Godzilla. Do you want to real quick tell us what you thought?
I did, yes. Great movie. Godzilla's really cool. That's about it.
That's a good tagline for the podcast. Godzilla's really cool.
Honestly, I think I think we should just rename the podcast to Godzilla's really cool.
That's good. I like that.
Because then we won't be restricted to just tokusatsu, which we definitely already break out of and almost barely cover anyways.
I know, right? And I'll say this much: multiple times, leading up to him watching that, he would come up to me and be like, "Hey, did you know Godzilla's an allegory for nuclear weapons?"
Oh my god.
Like at least once a day.
Big guy over here with big ideas.
It was really funny. But yeah, that's Robert. He's going to be running our social media. That includes Facebook, Twitter. We are officially back on Twitter after God knows how long. Actually, over a year as of today, I want to say, actually. is since we last posted on Twitter, but we are officially back on Twitter and Instagram, of course. So
Instagram's been the one that's been most fruitful for us.
it has been.
And definitely not because I go to several bars whenever I go anywhere and I talk to people about it, and they immediately follow us on it.
I mean, again, I keep telling coworkers about it. Hey, do what you got to do. I mean, Robert, what happened as soon as you got the Instagram login?
I posted. Oh yes, I followed and then had my girlfriend follow, and she followed on both accounts. So 3 extra followers.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I had an entire half a bar follow in a giant wave.
You did. It was pretty funny.
That
It
was really funny.
An entire bar. It was like 3 or 4 people.
It
right?
was 4 people. It was like 2 in the morning. Last call was like 2 hours before. We were just outside.
But yeah, look forward to more social media posts and interactions, engagement, what have you.
Keep an eye on Twitter because I'm sure the metric for getting big on Twitter is if Wendy's tries to be mean to you and if Radio Shack tries to start beef with you.
That's true.
Then
So
you
Robert, you know what to do.
Oh yeah, totally.
Harassing the fucking shit out of one of them.
Yeah. You know what?
And eventually we'll make it.
Have it be Wendy's because like I kind of really like Wendy's. So like if we
I
can
hate
get
Wendy's.
oh,
I
so
have a lot of things to say about them.
you have a lot of things to say about Wendy's. Okay, that see, we have our in. We have our in.
It's the start.
All right. Well, Robert, thanks for coming on and saying hello and introducing yourself. I think we all are looking forward to getting more traction on social media thanks to you.
We may have to indeed start dumping some money into it, perhaps.
Ugh. Spending money on things. Gross.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we will think about the Patreon. Who knows? No one will
the meme will become real.
ever donate anything.
No, absolutely not.
But maybe if we get enough listeners, we can start thinking about it, which is why, Robert, if you don't do your job, I'll find you.
Oh, don't worry. I fire and rehire Robert on a daily basis. Sometimes, most of the times, more than once a day.
I think I was the one who told you to do that because it would keep him on his toes.
Robert, do you remember if you're currently fired or hired?
I think you fired me last time at work, but I think you hired me again.
Did I? Okay. All right.
I think by inviting him on today, you
yeah.
him.
I would say by inviting you on, you're officially hired. That being said, you're fired.
Congratulations on the job. Oh,
get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bye.
All right.
All right, bye.
See you, Robert.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on.
No problem.
All right. Bye, guys.
God, I can't believe you let that guy. I can't believe you let that guy fucking kidnap you off the street.
I know, right?
Like you're not like a small guy. Like I.
No, and he's lanky. Robert's a lanky kid.
Yeah, but you're also kind of lanky.
Not really. I just wear slimming clothes.
I guess that's true.
One more thing.
That Wendy's chili.
Jesus Christ.
You love Wendy's. I want my Wendy's chili. All right.
One more thing we have before we get to our next topic, which is not the main topic. There's a little something I want to rant about, but real quick.
Wait, what do you want to call your ranting block?
I don't know. Well,
I have Brian's existentialism corner, and then
I don't
you get to
remember
rant about
that.
stuff. So you have to. Well, that was earlier today.
Okay.
Earlier, where I was like, "Is it worth being alive at
Oh,
this
right,
time?
right. I see.
This time period."
Well, we'll figure it out.
So.
But yeah, just a real little quick thing. I mean, as of today of recording, Monday the 25th. 25th?
Yes, it is
25th?
the 25th.
Monday the 25th. Just want to wish a really happy birthday to a friend of the show, Jared.
Oh, happy birthday, Jared!
Yeah.
You should come back on.
You should. I don't know what
And you could
want
be
to
a
talk about.
two-time friend of the show.
Yeah, you could be. We got to find a different name for it then.
Oh, well, we can keep it friend of the show. But I still think what were we talking about last time? Where I said we should get him back on to talk about that. It was because I was going to go through the original Ultraman.
The original
shows.
Ultraman, yeah.
Yeah.
How's that going for you, Brian?
Well, I was on vacation for a week,
Mhm.
so I didn't get to watch it.
Fair.
But I have. This may be shocking to some, but I have a renewed focus on watching things off of my list, and I can attest to this by saying that I did indeed watch Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which Dave and I briefly talked about earlier, so we're not going to talk about it.
No.
Which has been on my list since it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going through stuff. I'm doing it with video games, and I am doing it with movies and TV shows. Because it's recession o'clock, and I'm not spending money. Yep.
Fair enough.
It's happening, guys. Save your money, please. And if you're a bank, go fuck yourself.
I agree. But yeah, happy birthday, Jared. Feel free to come back on the show anytime to talk about anything you want. Just let us know beforehand so Brian and I can watch whatever you want to talk about if we haven't watched it. Because you've definitely seen more than I have. Or Brian.
Also, sorry for interrupting or hijacking that segment. But yes, happy birthday.
You, Brian. How dare you?
Happy birthday. We'll maybe contact you, hopefully. You should definitely contact us, maybe, because we're both shy.
I mean, I can just go. I know Jared. I can just be like, yo, Jared, what's up? You want to come back on the show?
You could pull a signature David move and kidnap him.
I could. But yeah. All right. Moving on. I have a little bit of a rant, kind of a throwback to our old r/Godzilla segment, but this is Twitter instead, which is equally as much of a cesspool, maybe even more so.
Honestly, I think Twitter has eclipsed Reddit.
Yeah.
This point.
But,
Twitter's rough.
Mm-hmm. So recently, Shin Ultraman had its North American premiere. It premiered at the New York Asian Film Festival. Got really good reviews. People were saying saying really good things about it. Really hope I can see it at some point. But unfortunately, this caused some fans to come out of the woodwork. First off, it started. I think the context initially was like, we haven't had a Gamera movie since 2006 with Gamera the Brave. When are we getting a new Gamera movie? And then that kind of spiraled into be like, we should get a Shin Gamera movie. Doing away with all the kid-friendly protector of children kind of thing, and just making him a really evil, angry bastard that just wants to destroy everything. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, shut up! That's not what Gamera is. The only reason it worked with Shin Godzilla is because that's what Godzilla started out as. Gamera, historically, has never once been that character. Not even in the original, because you still had Toshio, who he liked the turtles. He likes the turtles, and Gamera was like, hey, this kid likes turtles. The Shin Godzilla thing, it will not work with Gamera. Please, for the love of God, stop asking for it.
They call stuff Shin because Shin just means like new or whatever. It
means new or true. And I get it. Like that's a whole other thing where like people think
Americans
that means
being dumb.
Yeah, but
I guess the subtitle
you know
for
what
a
the
movie
other thing is. I haven't seen Shin Ultraman obviously, but Shin Godzilla, was a reinvention, kind of bringing it back to its roots. Guess what? That fucking already happened. with Gamera. It's called the Gamera trilogy in the 90s. There's your Shin Gamera. There's your Shin Gamera. Go watch that. That's taking the character back to its roots. That's putting a new spin on it. There you go. Go watch that. Stop asking for a evil bastard Gamera movie. That doesn't work. It's going to be an entirely different character.
Yep.
God, I hate people.
Yes. People are very obnoxious. People, like, there's a difference between, like, asking for new takes on stuff and just asking for, like, character assassination.
Yeah, literally.
like with Godzilla, like, we've talked about this a lot. Like, you know, we're tired of very derivative takes on Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, we're not asking for him to be, like, anything that's, like, too, like pro-nuclear would be a bad and that is exactly why we don't like a certain movie that I'm not going to mention.
We already mentioned it on the show once today, so it's fine.
Well, yeah. But like, that would be, like, in the same vein as what they're asking for with Gamera.
Yeah.
It's just the complete opposite, which doesn't automatically make something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So people can shut the fuck up, because their
it's
takes are bad.
And you know what the worst part is? I saw in response to that, people were like, "Oh, I can't believe people don't want a new Gamera movie in that vein." It's like, no. It's not that we don't want a Gamera movie. It's that we don't want a Gamera movie like that.
Yep.
I mean, personally,
one that's, like, needlessly edgy for no reason.
Exactly.
Does nothing.
Exactly. And listen, there are a bunch of people who say that, like, you know, I'm okay if we don't get another Gamera movie because Gamera the Brave was just that good. It's the perfect. It's better to go out on a high note than to bring it back at some point and have it be, you know, not great. You know, I'm kind of in the middle there. Like, if we don't get another Gamera movie anytime soon or ever, yeah, sure, Gamera the Brave is a great movie to go out on. But if we do get one, yeah, I'd watch it, and I would hope it's really good. But yeah, it's.
You just don't want something that's antithetical to what came before it.
That's exactly it, and that is
like,
what
you want it to
people
be.
want.
You want it to be new and interesting, but you don't want it to be disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like that's what annoys me a lot. Like, people nowadays, for some reason, they always think that, like, dark and edgy means badass, but you can still make stuff badass without making it gritty and violent.
Exactly. And you know what the funniest part is? Shinji Higuchi, co-director of Shin Godzilla, director of Shin Ultraman. Mm-hmm. Shinji Higuchi was the creative director on all 3 of the Gamera films. So he himself has already done Shin Gamera. Yes, the actual director of the films was Shusuke Kaneko. But Higuchi he's already kind of put his love and creativity into Gamera. We have Shin Gamera. Stop asking for it. That's it. I'm done. Because I'm just going to end up repeating myself again and again and again.
Go do something else.
Yeah.
Like, demand that Jurassic World makes good movies.
That's fighting a losing battle, I think.
That's never happening.
No,
oh boy.
Yeah.
YMS put out his Jurassic World Dominion review, and it was very funny.
Oh man. Do you follow Jenny Nicholson?
Can I tell you before you say this?
Yeah, go for it.
He put it into words the best, where he said that it is the most boring movie I've ever seen out of movies that are trying to not be boring.
Okay.
And I just, like, it. It's such a simple statement, but it is very much like, yes, that is exactly what it is, because it's very boring.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway,
yeah.
Continue.
Yes. Do you follow Jenny Nicholson at all?
I do not.
She is a fantastic YouTuber. She's the one who we mentioned last week. She did that. She in quarantine. She marathoned all 14 Land Before Time movies and ranked them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, now I remember.
So
I meant to actually go sub to her.
Yeah. So she yesterday, I guess she finally saw Jurassic World, and she just posted on Twitter, of all of my guesses for Jurassic World 3, I really failed to anticipate that it would be about big locusts.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, they had so many cooler things they could have went with.
And then directly after that, she tweeted, "My hot take is that if locusts were rabbit-sized, we would actually like them again."
Oh my god. You know what? Yeah. I feel like if locusts were big, there would be locust apologists.
Yeah, honestly.
Because it'd be like, oh, they're big like regular animals.
They're big like regular animals. Okay.
Yeah. You know, because like there's like lots of people who love animals, but they're just like, but bugs are disgusting.
Yeah.
But then like if you make the bugs big, then maybe they'll be like, but they're like me. They're alive
They're
like me.
Whoa. It's my favorite scene in the whole entire movie, Brian.
Actually, that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was on TV the other day, and I watched it with my sister and
God,
my mom. And
that movie's on TV all the fucking time.
It is, but it was the first time that my mom and my sister had ever watched it. But it was
oh no,
we started watching it when they were just breaking out of like the underground containment facility.
Okay,
and
so you were pretty far in.
So we were pretty far in, and like my sister and my mom were so fucking confused about everything going on. And we got to the "they're alive like me" line. I turned over and I see my sister's face like firmly in her hands, like just like what is going on?
Oh, that's nice. That's very good.
And she's like, why didn't they just leave the dinosaurs in their cage and then open the big door so the gas goes out? It's just like, I'm just like, Lauren, I don't know, and they don't know either. So
Oh my god, that's so funny.
oh god, it was so it was so good. It was really funny. My mom was just checked out. Like
Yeah.
she was like 1,000 yards staring at the TV.
Jesus Christ. All right.
All right, well, with that, let's get on to the main topic.
Yeah, because I'm actually really excited to talk
today.
about this.
I am also somewhat excited to talk about this. That sounded bad. I am excited to talk about this. Today, we're talking about the animated movie, The Sea Beast, directed by Chris Williams, starring Carl Urban as Jacob Holland.
What a guy, that Carl Urban.
Zaris Angel.
Hator.
I'm gonna say Hater. Funny,
Hator.
even though she was pretty good in the movie.
Hator.
Hator is definitely probably how it is actually supposed to be pronounced. So out of respect, I will say Hator. Playing Maisie, and Jared Harris playing Captain Crow. All voice actors, of course, because it is animated, so that should go without saying. And it was released in select theaters and primarily on Netflix, which is where Dave and I both watched it.
Correct.
So, unless you told me that you had fallen asleep in the movie theater and then woken up and then bought another ticket and went back and then finished it, which would have been really funny.
That is not something I would have done. I've never done that. I do not have plans to.
Oh, man, I mean, I've fallen asleep in a movie theater before, but I've never gone back in the theater.
Yeah, no, I've
finish
fallen
a
asleep
movie.
in theaters multiple times, but I've never gone back the next day and bought another ticket to attempt to do it again.
Yeah. So this movie, it's about
a beast in the sea,
sailors, essentially pirates, but they're called hunters, and they fight beasts, and it's basically just kind of like Moby Dick, I guess, and Monster Hunter combined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the main characters, Maisie and Jacob, they both befriend the big bad monster named Red. I don't remember what the hunters call it.
It's the Red Bluster.
Red Bluster. That sounds about right. And yeah, I mean that's it. I don't really. Do you want to spoil this movie? I mean, it is new.
I mean, we always spoil movies.
Okay, well, disclaimer here. We are going to spoil this. We'll put a disclaimer.
Damn,
thing,
imagine like actually doing this. Like we put a spoiler tag before we start talking about things.
It's true.
Hi.
Well, we haven't spoiled anything yet, so I guess this is your disclaimer.
But usually we do. Usually we spoil stuff.
Usually
We're
we
like,
do.
oh yeah, spoiler alert, like halfway through the discussion.
Well, that's why I want to start introducing stuff better, which is what I'm gonna start doing. So get ready for that, audience.
Right.
Believe it or not, we are making an effort to be more structured. It only took us 31 episodes.
Literally.
So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward movie. It's for kids, but we watched it.
We
and
did.
We're big boys.
Yeah. We're kids at heart.
Do we? Yeah. Everyone is a kid at heart somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe, unless you're like a terrible person. In which case, maybe you were just a bad kid.
It's possible.
I don't know. Yeah. So, what did you think? What are your thoughts?
quite liked it. I thought it was a little too derivative of How to Train Your Dragon, but that being said, if you're going to ape a popular children's film, you may as well have it be one of the best ones.
I was gonna say I've heard that that is a very good series.
Have you
so
never seen those movies,
think-
Brian?
Never.
Oh my fucking god, they're incredible. Like I legitimately think the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is like the best animated trilogy of all time.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've never got, again, a big long list. I've just never got around to it.
Yeah, like the first one is pretty good, but then you see the second one and you're like, "Oh my god, that was incredible."
Okay. All right. You're selling me on it.
Yeah. And the music.
Is it the same? Is it the same production studio behind this one?
No, that's DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
Same guys who did Shrek.
Okay. Who's behind this one?
I don't know the studio. I was Netflix and Sony, but this is from one of the directors of Big Hero 6 and Moana.
Okay, yeah,
Both good
I actually
movies.
saw that in the little thing. What were they again?
Big Hero 6 and Moana.
Okay, those I have also never seen.
Oh.
So
They're
that's
both very
where I'm
good.
at. I have also heard that. I'm lazy, so I just don't see movies. But my take on it, which I think I watched it before you, so I told you
You
my
did.
take. But I said I enjoyed it. It's very easy to see where it's going, but honestly, like I can't fault a kids movie for that.
Right.
What do you expect really? You're an adult, you're watching a movie that the primary demographic is kids. So
The thing is, though, like there's like some like kind of like not kid friendly stuff in here. Like they're visibly drinking.
That's true.
Near the end, you see Jacob's hand covered in blood. And I'm like, oh, that's a little dark for this movie.
Yeah, that I did want to actually go through and mention that. I think that most of the movie is pretty kid friendly, but there are some very bizarre parts that are dark.
Yeah.
There is also, and I'm gonna talk about that later because
Okay.
I was just a little taken aback by it.
Mhm.
But I think yes, I did enjoy watching it. I had a good time. I thought the creature design for the most part was pretty cool. It was a lot like Monster Hunter. Like it was weird. I was watching it and a lot of like the character designs gave off like Sea of Thieves vibes.
I
don't know if you ever
really
played-
liked the character design in this movie.
I did find it very very
Visually,
charming and
just
cool.
overall visually, the movie is incredible.
Oh, it's a great looking movie. I didn't really there's a couple things that I didn't like, but I'm pretty sure they were stylistic. I guess the one I'll say now is I don't think Red looks that great.
Red, she looks too smooth.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I don't really like how smooth she looks. I think it would have done better to give her like a scaly look because she is like kind of like a whale snake.
Yeah, because like the first monster we see in the movie, the Brickleback, I think it's called. Like that's nice and
looks
textured.
awesome.
Yeah, that thing's nice and
That thing
textured. It has
looks
like
awesome.
scales and scoots and stuff. But Red just on close-ups, she looks better. But like from far away, she just looks too smooth. And it's a little weird.
Yeah, I do like the close-ups. I really like Red's eyes. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, she it's weird. She's like really expressive without doing a whole lot.
Yeah, she's very expressive with her eyes. I think that's really cool. This just the visual design of her wasn't doing it for me. The reason I think it was stylistic was because I do, apart from the parts of the movie that are not really maybe not really kid friendly, I think that they probably wanted to keep Red looking somewhat nice,
marketable,
I guess. Marketable, like not scary.
Yeah.
So that it's easier to connect. Because like you've seen that in other movies too, where there's there's something that's supposedly bad, but then they make it look friendly. Like,
well, that's the whole thing with How to Train Your Dragon with Toothless.
Yeah.
Holy,
so,
whoa!
I think
oh my god!
What?
It literally just started pouring out of fucking nowhere.
Oh damn!
Like there was not any perspiration, and then all of a sudden downpour.
Dump.
Like, can you hear this at all?
No. No, I can't.
No. Okay.
Send me a Snapchat.
Yeah, I will.
Oh wait, no,
well,
don't do that because
But yeah, it's like really coming down. Holy shit! Like all of a sudden, I just heard because there's the window. Okay, I thought it's already like subsiding a little bit.
Maybe it's like maybe a kaiju got out of the ocean.
Maybe.
And it's just all the water.
Anyways, what were we talking
about? It's gonna be a really big kaiju.
Yeah.
Just make it right that far. I was just saying that I just the designer Red didn't really do it for me. But I think the rest of the creature design was pretty awesome. I like the monster at the beginning.
All right, Brian, I have a very important question for you. Which is the better blue?
The crab boy. Continue. The better blue.
The better blue.
The Velociraptor.
The Velociraptor. Okay, that's fair.
It's got to be. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really like the main kid character gets a small animal trope in a lot of movies.
Okay, I just think,
especially because Blue doesn't really do anything.
He helps at the very, very end. Like
Blue helps at the end by opening up a window.
Yeah.
which could have been done by literally anything else.
I will say though, I legitimately laughed my fucking ass off when we first meet Blue and Jacob's like going after Maisie and he's like, "No, we're not doing this," and he just picks up Blue and yeets him into the forest.
He does that like 3 times during the entire movie.
I laughed out loud. I'm like, "Oh my god, that was so unnecessary," but it was so funny.
Jacob's kind of a dick.
He is, and I love him for it.
For the first half of the movie.
I think that's kind of like on purpose, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it was really funny. It was a cool dynamic.
Yeah.
I think Maisie was a good kid character.
Yeah. I really liked Maisie. She was adorable.
Like she wasn't completely helpless, which I hate.
Mm-hmm.
And she was capable, and I thought it was cool how the chemistry, the dynamic between the duo was cool, and then Blue being there like a fucking idiot. I really liked how Maisie communicated with Blue instead of just Jacob fucking yelling at it.
Literally, yeah.
Maisie's just showing what she wants Blue or Red to do, and I thought that was clever. I was like, that's funny, because I was gonna be so annoyed if Maisie said it and then Red suddenly understood.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that was fun.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, that was confusing to me was we're in spoiler territory here, but when Captain Crow is separated from Jacob and Maisie, they have a falling out, and so Captain Crow, he goes to the witch lady to get a super powerful weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And the witch lady basically curses him, I guess, where she's like, if you use this weapon and the poison that goes with it, your life will be in shambles and nothing, I'm taking everything from you, basically. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, that we never get a resolution on that.
Like at all. The weapon, like the supposed poison that will kill Red. I was expecting some kind of like plot thing where there's like an antidote, but Red literally just doesn't die from it.
Yeah, I don't know
at all.
Well, I think because after he uses it, he's like, oh yeah, don't let the poison kill her. I want to kill her myself. So maybe it's just that like he pulls in, like he doesn't allow enough of the poison to get into her system to really kill her in just city. I don't really buy that per se, but like I'm assuming that's the reasoning for it. Because I mean,
I guess
it is
so.
personal for him because like she did take his eye, but it was just a weird kind of thing. Also, now
It was
that
just it was a weird plot development, especially because like the whole curse thing just didn't
happen. Yeah, it was weird.
Like everyone was kind of fine at the end of the movie. Especially Captain. He just gave up.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah, I guess I won't hunt monsters anymore. Sure.
I mean, I guess maybe because the curse was like when you finally have your revenge is when you'll lose everything, and he technically didn't get his revenge.
That's true.
Because he didn't. That may be it, but I mean, the point being is that it just kind of got muddled for me. I felt like it was just a thing that they didn't need.
I mean, it seemed to me that they were kind of going down that route where, when he gets Maisie and Jacob back, like it seems they're kind of going down that route where like Jacob's like doesn't really want to go through with any of this, but like they don't really go any further than he kind of seems like he doesn't want to go through with this. And they have their little battle, but they're all fine.
Yeah, I think I do think the weakest part of this movie is the last part, the last act there. I think it was it seemed a little rushed to me.
It did. I mean,
there was a bit too much going on, and they didn't really know how to resolve it in a timely
What could have
manner.
been cool, I think, and this is kind of me borrowing from the Dark Horse Godzilla comic from the 90s, which actually starts off with... So, all right, I got to kind of set the stage here. So, the Dark Horse Godzilla comic from the 90s is a follow-up series to the Godzilla King of the Monsters one-shot they did in the late 80s. So, it's a sequel, and one of the kids in issue number 1, they have a character from that one-shot, Dr. Noriyoshi, I want to say her name is. Her parents died in the Godzilla attack back in that first issue, in that one shot. And so she became a scientist and studied one of Godzilla's scales to learn how his biology works. So that first issue starts off with her. She specifically created a neurotoxin specifically designed to kill Godzilla, and she uses it, and then that kind of sends Godzilla into a rampage for the first couple issues of that comic. I think that would have been kind of cool if that had been done to Red, especially considering not all the poison got into her, so it wasn't enough to kill her, but it could have been enough to send her into like a rampage. So we could have gotten some cool monster rampaging action, but that's okay. It's not.
Well, as soon as I saw they were bringing Red into like the Imperial City or whatever, I was like, convinced that we're gonna get like a big destruction scene.
Yeah.
And like we kind of got it, but not really.
I mean, to be fair, I guess it would have been kind of antithetical to how the movie wanted to go, because like that would kind of just prove their point that the monsters are bad, they're attacking, we got to kill them all. So I guess it makes sense. I
guess we should probably address that.
Okay.
That the main twist in this movie is how the movie starts is that like these hunters, they've always been like at war with these monsters, and they're always trying to kill them, and the monsters are like trying to fight back, and they're always like attacking ships and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's portrayed in like books, and every book is printed by the government, I guess, or the
crown,
Imperials or whatever. And you learn this through Maisie, basically, because she has all these books, and she's just like, I love these books and these stories, but they all turn out to be fake once she interacts with Red and realizes that Red isn't bad. Just she's pissed off because this has been going on for so long, and it's just but I that kind of leads into what surprised about this movie and how it just turned into like basically like anti-imperial, anti-government, anti-manifest destiny, anti-government, anti-imperialism stuff. Like she was very much like Maisie at the end of the movie was basically just like, government sucks. They've been lying to us forever. They started this war. The monsters just want to chill out in their place. And the end of the movie is basically just like the humans agree to live where they've settled, and the monsters will go back to where they are.
Yeah.
And whatever. And I just thought that was so surprising, but also like kind of cool because you don't get that a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Like that's a heavy.
It's pretty based.
That's a heavy theme. That's a heavy theme that is very much based in real history that a lot of parents are very squeamish about.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of like, a lot of people are squeamish about because it's a rough thing to grapple with. Like take America, the United States, all of our sins are due to our obsession with manifest destiny, or at least our ancestors' obsession with it, and they used that as an excuse to conquer people and enslave them, and that's what the country's built on. And I just thought that was a cool route that I just didn't expect. Like that's a cool lesson to teach kids that's fucked.
So how many
Like,
how many kids do you think are gonna ask their parents about this?
I hope a lot, honestly. I actually do. Like,
Do you think the parents will be able to
I
talk to them about it or nah?
depends on what kind of where in the country you are,
That's-
or
that's
what
fair, yeah.
what country you're in.
Yeah.
But I think I could crack jokes about this all day at how surprising it is, but I'm not
Mhm.
gonna. I do genuinely think it's a great lesson to teach kids.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think honestly, for people who watch, for even adults who watch this movie, I think it's great. Like, because it is. I don't know how much you expected that kind of stuff, but I wasn't
Not
expecting
at
it at all.
Not
I was
at all.
I was like, wow, holy shit! Like I was
Like
expecting.
I expected it to be like, oh yeah, the monsters were good all along, clearly, but like I wasn't
Of
expecting
course.
it to go to be like, oh yeah, the government put out all this propaganda that they're bad and shit. Like I
Like,
did
as
not
soon-
expect any of that part.
As soon as I saw Maisie go through like the library on the ship and seeing all like the Imperial logo on all the
Yeah.
books, I was like, they're not. There's no way. This is way too young of a demographic for them
Right.
to really be reaching into this. But then they did it, and they had Maisie, the kid character, explain it, which I think was probably the smartest way to do
Oh,
it.
absolutely, yeah.
because-
Because if they
because-
had Jacob do it, it would have the impact, especially on like the in-universe impact. Like I don't think like all the citizens would have like really
No.
got it, as much as they did if it was coming from a younger character.
Yeah, and especially because the whole thing with Maisie is that Maisie really wanted to be amongst these hunters because her parents were hunters and they
Mhm.
died on a ship called the Monarch. And like it gives
Which,
it
hey,
more weight. Like
that's some.
that's like from the MonsterVerse.
No, I was gonna say it's foreshadowing because at the end she's like, oh yeah, my parents died for you. It's like, yeah, they died on the Monarch.
Oh, for the monarchy, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was that I think that her giving that speech gives it much more weight because she, along with Red, have trauma, that were born from this endless war that neither of them even know the beginning of. Like, it was fought by their forefathers and their fathers, before them and shit. And like that's kind of just like real history, you know. Like people have beliefs and they are, they have impressions of history that aren't challenged because it's just so old and you're just born into this system. And who knows, like, because it happened so long ago, like it's hard to question stuff. Especially when you have layers of government and institutions that try and hide things or try to muddle the past. And yeah, I just thought it was really neat. I appreciated the shit out of that, and I think it definitely elevated the movie quite a bit for me. I really, us here at Talking Toku, we love deep messages.
We do. Kaiju
so
films
I
are
think
always political. Kaiju films are always political.
Not always, but most
of the time.
The best ones are.
Correct.
The best ones also have great characters. Come suck my dick, you fucking.
I will say I was a little surprised that we didn't actually see the backstory of like the war itself, but I guess in context it makes sense because all the books say that this has been going on like basically forever, so it would make sense that no one alive really remembers how this shit began. And I mean, yeah, I'm sure it is just a dude saw a monster. It's like, oh my God, a monster, fucking kill it. And that started the whole chain of events. And it's nice that we don't get to see that. We don't get that exposition. Sometimes you don't need that kind of exposition. You just need that little like, oh, yeah, the Crown printed all these books. The Crown's printing all the history. That's their version of history.
I think I definitely agree with you. I think not seeing it firsthand, it elevates the themes, or at least it complements them better.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Then you're in the same shoes as the characters. You don't ever know more or less than them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that not only does that do wonders for just being able to immerse yourself in the movie, I think it's better for what they're talking about, like with the themes they're going for, like not knowing history because you weren't alive for it.
Right.
So yeah, I mean that's my thoughts. It was definitely very surprising. Do you have anything you want to add on that?
Not on that topic specifically. No. I mean, yeah, you kind of covered the whole shebang with that.
Yeah, it was that was probably the best part of the climax.
Yeah,
the third act. I do really find it funny how they built up that big boat with all the cannons on it and immediately got bodied.
I want to talk about that because like I think my favorite shot of the movie, and even probably one of my favorite shots in giant monster cinema for the last couple of years, I think, is in that, because that shot after Red just barrels through her way through that ship and she kind of like rears up and you see her kind of like looming over the ship in the smoke. That was such a cool fucking shot. And I'm like, wow, that looks rad as fuck. And I mean, like I said earlier, the movie as a whole is visually gorgeous, and a big part of that is just how well the action scenes are directed. And I noticed this in like that first action scene when they're fighting the Brickleback. Everything has this like really, really satisfying flow to it in the action scenes. And it's just really well directed. And I feel like a lot of times in animated films, especially when it comes to Netflix, you don't really get that. You know, you don't really get a whole lot of like, wow, that's a really well animated scene. But no, this one was really well done. And apparently, from what one of my friends on the Kaiju United Discord, feel free to join us over there. From one of my friends there was saying a lot of the animators on here are former Disney animators. So it's like, oh,
I could definitely see that.
This is what happens when you give Disney animators the time and money they need to make something look really good. It's like,
and also a degree of free reign.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, all the action was just so satisfying to watch because of that really cool flow. Like there was a bunch of shots where like it's not, you know, one, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's not, you know, all one unbroken shot, but there's a couple scenes where it looks like, you know, there's a couple shots that are unbroken where it could have been just a cut, and it's not, and it just fits in with that really nice flow, and I loved it so much.
I completely agree with you. I think that was another one of the pleasant surprises of this movie for me. As soon as I saw that it was like a Netflix movie, I was like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, it's Netflix.
Granted, it wasn't like, I don't think it was it funded by Netflix?
Netflix Animation was one of the production companies.
Okay. So I was skeptical because it had the Netflix you know, name on it, and we all know how Netflix treats animators. But I completely agree. There were some really good shots. I know the exact shot you're talking about after she barrels through that ship.
It's so good.
It is really good, and I paused the movie at that just to look at it for a bit. There was a lot of really good shots like that. I think that was a big surprise for me because I generally, for some reason, and this might be my own like, this might just be me like being a little disillusioned with how terrible animators are being treated, but like I feel like we don't really get a lot of like truly great shots anymore in a lot of animated movies. Like they kind of just, things happen, and like the visual flair like just isn't there a lot of the times. as much as I want it to be, especially with Netflix stuff. But this movie did. And the action scenes, they were very enjoyable to watch. I have literally nothing bad to say about them. That first, the first fight with the brickleback, is that what it's called?
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah.
I think you might be right. The squid thingy.
Yeah.
That was an immediate I don't know. Immediately adjusted my expectations because it was a really well choreographed fight scene. It felt like a real crew fighting against a real monster, and it did give off like he gave me Monster Hunter vibes, which definitely helped. But yeah, it was great. I completely agree with you. I was very, very pleasantly surprised, especially with the Netflix name on it. More of this, please.
Yeah, like
Netflix.
so like again, like I mentioned right at the top, this movie has really heavy How to Train Your Dragon vibes, and that's not a bad thing. And I've learned
mimicry is
sincere form of flattery. Yeah.
Yes.
And I've learned I'm like, obviously it worked really well in How to Train Your Dragon, but also works really, really well here. Let's just keep making movies like this. Keep making animated, monster, like kind of fantasy monster movies, because it works really damn well.
It does.
And I don't know if there are any other movies in that kind of vein. I'm sure there are, but like,
wasn't there an animated movie about like I think we talked about it briefly. There was one that was like a fighting movie. I don't remember.
Fighting movie?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
It was a while back. I'd have to look it up, but whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll do a quick Google search. Continue with what you were saying.
I don't remember. I think I had kind of finished my thought. Unfortunately.
Okay. I completely agree with you. I mean, I just love more content. More stuff that is good, obviously. I think we need more good media because there's a lot of shit.
Right.
But I also think that more movies that are based around like the monster genre it'll bolster the kaiju community. Like, the MonsterVerse, for as we think it is, it's definitely introduced a lot of people into the stuff we love, and I think that making more animated flicks, while providing people with great content, as long as they're good, will introduce people at a younger age. I think that'd be awesome. And they provide us old guys with stuff to watch and then talk about.
This is true. We can make more podcasts. Yeah. So Netflix, keep doing it, or anyone keep doing it.
Yeah,
we need more content.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't trust Netflix. So HBO Max.
Yeah, it works too.
HBO Max is probably my favorite streaming service. They are. Yes, they are.
I feel like we sing HBO Max's praises like every episode now.
Please sponsor us.
Could you imagine?
HBO Max. I will literally get down on my knees and give you a handshake.
All right, fair enough.
I'm gonna give it PG. Yeah. That's what I have to say. Anything else we wanted to mention? Wait, one more thing. I love the crab guy.
Oh, the crab guy's so great.
The crab fight between Red and the crab, I think it was really good. And that also ended with Red yeeting.
Yeah, there's a lot of yeeting in this movie. It's pretty cool.
There's a lot of yeeting. Yeah, there's a lot of that, and I think it's very comedic.
I will say, I don't know if it is, but I keep seeing a lot of people posting about it, that it is a reference. But that scene near the end, right before she destroys the Imperator, and she kind of her head crests over the hill to look at it. I saw a lot of people saying that was a reference to the original Godzilla, when Godzilla first appears over the hill. I don't know if that's a reference, but I don't totally see it, but I guess it could be. I don't know.
I think that's one of those things where you can stretch it to be a reference, but it like, until the director confirms that it was a reference, I'm just gonna say that it was just a shot.
A happy coincidence.
Wanted to go with.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? Let me think. Oh yeah, I think the underwater scenes where they were just sitting in her nose was kind of fun.
That was
I
cool.
did like that.
Actually, speaking of the underwater scenes, I really like the shot where after the crew of the Inevitable, they fight Red, and they obviously they lose, and both Jacob and Maisie fall in, and they turn around, they just see Red staring at them. That's a
Oh,
really
yeah.
cool scene, because it's like
That
you
was
really
cool.
see like just how small they are compared to her. And then
Yeah,
she just kind of like fades away into the background because the water's so dark.
that was actually one of the shots I wanted to mention. I forgot about. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was one of the times where I realized I just really enjoyed how, like, just from Red's eyes, I think it was just really like
Yeah.
it was like underwater. There are shots where Red looks intimidating. It's
Mhm.
primarily when she's out of the water.
Yeah.
That I didn't really like it
And
very much.
honestly, it's there's probably a reason why everything involving the water looks so good, because again, Chris Williams, who's the director, is one of the co-directors for Moana, which is heavily
Yep.
there's a lot of water in that movie, and the water effects in that movie look incredible, and they do here
Yeah.
as well.
Well, that's what I actually just remembered that when I was watching it, I wrote down a note that I just completely forgot where I had even written it. But I was gonna say that I like within the first couple minutes of the movie, I was just like, wow, the water in this movie looks really great. Like, I know this is a movie set in the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
but the water looks great. I don't know where I'm going with that. It was just an observation.
Again, I mean,
think
everything about this movie is visually gorgeous. It really is.
there's a rule with like video games where it's like games with really good looking water generally look the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because water is really hard to nail. Specifically like the look, but more specifically the movement of water.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely not to the same degree, but I think it definitely holds true with animated movies as well, for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot to complain about with this movie. It was enjoyable.
Yeah. It's not, you know,
It's not groundbreaking, but it's a
groundbreaking,
good
yeah.
time. And with my whole spiel earlier about the themes of the movie, even though they don't really show up till the end, I still think it was really cool to include them. Yeah, I don't have really anything to complain about. I would give it like I don't really like number reviews, so I'm gonna give it a pretty good out of yeah, it was pretty good. It was enjoyable. You should watch it. That's it.
I agree. You should watch it. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd,
Did you? Okay.
I believe.
What's with the point and a half deduction, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know. It's just 3.5 seems correct.
Felt right to you?
Yeah, it just felt right. Four seems a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I probably would have given it a 4. Just because I think all the stuff that it does right kind of outweighs the things that I didn't like about it.
That's fair.
And I think that a lot of the things that I didn't like about it was because I'm not the intended audience.
Mm.
But I don't know. I mean, who's to say? It's media is it's a personal thing.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Unless you're Jurassic World, then everyone hates you.
very much so. But I think that kind of wraps it on everything we have to do with the Sea Beast. Unless you have anything more you got to say.
I just would like to see more stuff like this.
I agree.
Yeah.
Give us the Sea Beast 2. Sea Beasts.
Also, anybody who says that they're too old for animated movies, grow the fuck up.
No, you're stupid.
Like, I really like dark media and like stuff that's like adult-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I will watch animated stuff that was made for kids. Like, I'm not that much of a loser. Come on. Get off your high horse. Go watch some fun shit.
Yeah.
Just do it. Oh, broaden your horizons. All right.
Hard agree.
my rant's over.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Man, this is gonna be a shorter episode this week. How about that?
Well, it's because we structured it better because we actually
know,
prefaced what we
right?
were talking about
Yeah, how
and
about
we
that?
gave background. And so it's going to be shorter, but also it's going to be more informative and people will know what we're talking about.
Whoa. How about that?
Who would have thought that a little bit of planning would have gone a long way?
Yeah.
Definitely not me, which is definitely not why I did it.
All right. Well, why don't we move on to our next and final segment? What new cool kaiju thing are you checking out right now? Brian, is there any new cool kaiju thing you've been checking out right now?
No. Actually, no, because I've been on vacation, so I've been
That's
away.
fair. But you said you were. You said you were going to be looking for the Meg to ask him for an interview.
That is correct.
Do you have any luck?
Unfortunately, I did not find the Meg. The Meg seems to be.
He's probably booked. He's
tried-
probably busy
I tried-
shooting the new movie.
I tried to get in touch with the Meg's agent, but they weren't available. And then I tried to send some emails, and it just wasn't working. Eventually, I just dove directly into the ocean and looked around, and all I found was a lousy great white. So
Damn.
it's just
Well, hey,
sometimes
maybe
people
maybe he knew the dude from Jaws. You could have set some up there. I don't know.
maybe I don't know. I mean, sometimes people are just busy, and
Yeah, it happens.
it's just shit happens. But whatever. I'll try next year.
Yeah, I mean, is the movie? I don't know when the movie's supposed to come out. It might be next year. Who knows?
Did they even get I know they announced that they were working on a sequel, but
I think they've been shooting the sequel. Let me double check. The Meg 2. I can't remember what the actual title of it is.
because you bet your ass I'm gonna get high and go see that movie.
Meg 2. Oh yeah, August 4th of next year.
Oh shit, okay. Can you
So-
imagine if it was slated for this year?
Oh my god, that'd be great.
Incredible. Oh my god. I mean, it definitely doesn't have a whole lot of competition this year, so
No, not really. But,
yeah.
look forward next year to us reviewing Meg 2: The Trench, because we'll
Yes.
definitely be doing it.
What's your quick rapid fire theory of what the movie's gonna be about?
I don't know, because I assume it's going to be based on the second book, which I've never read any of the Meg books, but what little I know about the series is that it gets kind of wacky.
They're aliens.
Not aliens, but dinosaurs.
Ooh, oh boy. I think we need to maybe read the Meg series and talk about it.
Yeah. So I'll just briefly read the quick, the very short synopsis on Wikipedia. The book continues the adventure of Jonas Taylor, a paleobiologist studying the megalodon, who now discovers another prehistoric monster, Chronosaurus, also thought to have been extinct.
Okay.
So
Is this a made up dinosaur or is it real?
It's a real dinosaur apparently.
Is it a real dinosaur? Okay. Huh. Oh, another thing, detached from the Meg,
Mhm.
from my failed interview, I have showed 3 other people Prehistoric Planet, and they all loved it.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh man,
We're bringing dinosaurs back.
We
They're
are.
coming.
I mean, hey, with the Meg 2, it's coming, baby.
Yeah, I'm excited. I am actually excited for the Meg 2. I do hope it's better than the first one because there was not a whole lot of megging around in that.
Megging around.
Megging around. There was a lot of
Oh my god, these
Not-
books are still coming out too.
Are they? What number are they on?
This is number 7, and it came out. It's not even out yet.
The Meg is the new Harry Potter.
It's coming out next year. Oh, but this is the last one. Meg number 7 is the last book.
So it's coming out next year.
Next year, summer of 2023.
Well, we better get reading
Yeah, honestly.
if we're gonna cover the finale in time.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys know what to expect. Anyways.
Oh, another cool kaiju thing I'm checking out is a show that will be not disclosed, but Dave and I have been watching it.
We have, and boy,
we have
has
to
it
continue.
been, has it been something.
We have to continue very soon.
We have to. I still want
to. If we're gonna stay on our timetable, we gotta.
Yeah, I want to catch up on Ultraman Decker before we do that, but we'll get back on.
Oh yeah, we watched the first episode.
We watched half the first episode.
We watched half the first, and boy, was it a show.
I keep hearing people saying really good things about it. Like
I don't get it.
Well, because we didn't even finish the first episode, Brian. So that's probably why.
I mean, the 15 minutes we watched, I was confused and it just wasn't very interesting.
We
it
also
seemed
wasn't.
A lot like Trigger.
We also really.
We also watched the ending to Trigger.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. We watched episodes.
I mean, like, there's no way we're making an episode on it because we're gonna have as little to say about it as we did about the show.
Perhaps even less to say.
But wow,
it's really telling that all the best parts of episode Z were the parts that Ultraman Z and Haruki were in.
Yeah.
Because
I don't even know what they were going for.
I don't know. I mean, Zet didn't get his own movie, so like I guess they kind of tried to make this both a Zet and Trigger movie, which didn't really work. But you know,
like Zet didn't really do anything.
He was the main villain, kind of.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, things just like it was just more of the show.
Yeah, I mean that's what they always are.
I know, but like when the show isn't good, like
absolutely.
And it was like an hour and a half long or something.
Pretty much.
And it was just so I was so bored.
Yeah.
It was very boring. We did laugh a lot though.
We did. They had big Ultraman.
That's right. Yes.
Big Ultraman was the final boss.
Big Ultraman was the final boss. I laughed at that a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Other than that, I don't remember what I laughed at. I think I laughed at wait, what the fuck? What? I don't even remember anymore. Like usually when we laugh at stuff, we remember what we laughed at, but it was so boring that I laughed at it. That's literally just how
forgettable Trigger is.
And then forgot about what I laughed at.
That's
I remember Big Ultraman because it was so stupid.
Yeah. That's why we got to start watching Decker, Brian, because apparently like everyone's saying it's really, really good. Even friend of the show, Jared, says it's good.
All right. Well, I do believe Jared.
You respect his opinion.
I respect him.
He's a friend of the show, after all.
Show. Of course. Anyone who has that title is to be respected.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets our stamp of approval.
Yeah. As for what I have been checking out, it's not super Toku. It's kind of Toku related. So Shudder just put out the This Is Gwar documentary.
I heard about that.
It's essentially what it sounds like. It's a documentary detailing the history of the punk/metal band Gwar, who, if you don't know, they're kind of like Kiss on LSD, steroids, every other drug you can possibly imagine. They dress up in big monster costumes and play really good punk/metal. And I've been a fan of them for quite a while. And knowing they had this big feature-length documentary coming out on Shudder, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. And it was getting like really good reviews too. And it's really, really good. Like they right from the get-go, they stressed that like this band started off as like an art project. It wasn't a band, it was an art project. And like right from like the formation, it was like one of the guys, I can't remember what his actual name is, but he plays the character Techno Destructo. It was him. He was a film major, and he wanted to use all these characters in a film. And then Dave Brockie, who was the singer up until he passed away back in 2015, I want to say, he kind of took over Gwar and kind of just made it more music focused. And they had a whole falling out where the guy who played Techno Destructo, he didn't really want anything to do with any of the band for a long time, and at least until very recently. It was fascinating to watch. It really was. And you know, they go into all these crazy details of how you know, just I'm losing my train of thought here, unfortunately. But it is really good. And they go into all these like crazy stories, like Who was it? I think it's the guy who plays. It's either I think it's either Mike Dirks who plays Balsack, the Jaws of Death, or the guy who plays Jizmak Dagusha. And he was talking about when they were nominated for a Grammy for Phallus in Wonderland. And he talked about, you know, obviously everyone was dressed up for the Grammys in suits and ties, and then you see Guar coming over, and the guy was like, yeah, so obviously I was in costume, so the first thing I did was walk over to Shaka Khan. I was like, hey, Shaka Khan, you know, you Earth girls are making me hot. And then they got kicked out of the Grammys and were told to go behave. It was really funny.
That's incredible.
It was really, really funny. Yeah,
I mean, you got to commit for the character.
Yeah, exactly. Like they very rarely break character in Guar ever. And I've never seen him live, but they are coming to town very soon with a really solid lineup. I think it's them, Light the Torch, Necrogoblicon, and Crowbot, who I've always wanted to see live. So I might go see them.
Hey, I know Crowbot.
Yeah, they also put out a new album, and I haven't listened to it yet. Whoops. But yeah, I definitely want to go see him. But yeah, if you have Shudder, definitely check out This Is Guar. It is a and like you don't even need to like be into punk or metal to like enjoy the film, because it's still a really fascinating piece of media.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, I'm getting Shudder pretty soon, specifically for Mad God. So
yeah, that too.
That's probably what I'll be. I think
checking out.
I think the plan for me is watching Ultraman, Ultra 7, and then going to Mad God, and then I think that's
all right.
That's, I mean, whatever, you know, intercut with whatever you and I end up watching over Discord. But yeah, that's my watch list for right now. I actually have stuff written down on a whiteboard. I kid you not.
Jeez. All right.
That's how seriously I'm taking this.
Very nice. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's kind of it for the episode then.
Yeah, that wraps it up. Pretty concise.
I had a thought of what I wanted to talk about next time, but that was like 2 days ago, and a lot's happened since then, so I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
And audience, as always, if you have ideas, hit us up. Our new social media manager, Robert, will maybe not ignore you and forward us ideas.
Yeah. That'd be nice. That would be nice, actually. Yeah, please feel free. Send any ideas for episodes you want to any of our socials, and Robert will pass it along to us, and we'll maybe take your idea into consideration.
I'm me specifically. I don't know if I said it at the beginning. I'm gonna try to take this podcast a bit more seriously. I'm gonna start doing more preparation. I do work a full-time job, so I'm split between that. But I would like to put in more effort. So I'm gonna start preparing more. Probably gonna start putting more effort towards social media. Maybe get our name out there. So. We'll see. I would really like some. If you are out there listening, gonna be blunt with you. There's not a lot of you, so definitely, if you have any ideas, just let us know. Reach out to us. We would absolutely love some listener interaction. That would be really cool. Yeah.
All right then.
Let's end this shit.
Let's end it.
So that these people can go eat dinner or whatever they do,
or
continue on their walk and maybe listen to make sure that there's no one following them.
Yeah. I mean, Robert said he was at Shake Shack when I texted him earlier, so.
Or maybe go to Shake Shack like Robert.
Get a delicious Oreo funnel cake shake, which is quite delicious.
Go to Wendy's.
Yeah.
Get a Dave's combo or whatever.
They have the strawberry frosty now. It's pretty solid.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, let's end this.
Yeah. All right, everyone. As always, this has been Talking Toku. Go give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, even though there's nothing on YouTube just yet. At Talking Toku, at all 4 of those websites. Feel free. It's all there. Like I said, Twitter's actually up and running now. I finally put up the new images, new quote unquote. So that's all there. Yeah. My name's David.
I'm Brian, as usual.
Yeah, go watch the Sea Beast.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
See ya.